we are back with the HLN 8 kilowatt heater, the actual true genuinely sized 8 kilowatt heater. It's finally stopped being summer enough that I can actually run this a bit. The workshop still says it's 25 degrees in here. So the problem I've had, this heater is too powerful. Well, not too powerful, but too powerful for testing. It heats up the space in the workshop so quickly that the hot air fills this space, ends up coming back in the intake. The heater correctly assumes it's up to the right temperature and it goes down to its lower power, which makes testing it difficult. So just for reference, this is an 8 kilowatt. This is the heat exchanger from a 4, and if I put the intake and the exhaust in about the right place, you can see how much bigger this 8 kilowatt is compared to a 4 kilowatt heat exchanger. Let me run you through my test setup before we fire it up. Got the thermocouple temperature thermometer with one end stuck in there for an air intake reading, and the other I have made a new temperature target thing. I did start with a big board, you know, like A3 size, but what happened was it really just blasted hot air against it and then blasted it straight back that way and back in the intake. So this is a better thing. So we've got an aluminium disc, sort of copper tied onto a bit of threaded bar, and a thermocouple stuck to the back of it with a bit of thermal grease and Captain tape, so we'll get an as accurate as I can get hot air reading once that's hot and stays hot. Basically for my test, I ran it until the thermometer showed the same amount of temperature increase. Like if that went up 1 degree and that went up 1 degree, that means they're both at equilibrium and they were rising at the same rate. So that meant it was we had reached temperature. I've just got the exhaust pointed in here. It has no silencer, so I had intended to do a decibel reading, but the decibel reading's wrong because there's an exhaust in here with us. I've just put a silencer on the intake. My 8 kilowatt didn't come with an intake silencer. I don't know if the production version that you get will come with a silencer. I didn't ask, should have. But I've put a silencer on there just to make it more realistic for its combustion, I suppose. And the only thing I can't do just now is put the gas analyzer up the exhaust, because what I need is a silencer or a bracket or an L shape, not an L shape, a T-piece or something, so I can put the probe in line with the exhaust gas, because if I just try and stick my thing in the end, it will melt. And if I just poke it in a little bit, we won't get an accurate reading because it'll be sucking some oxygen from outside. But we will fire this up and I will hopefully let you hear what it sounds like. The controller is beautifully basic. It is literally, can I have some wire here? No, it's the power is plugged in and I've made it too short to do anything with, but perhaps I can zoom in a little bit. Brute. Like that. It's just off, on, and then the temperature that you want to set. There is nothing else. And max is as max as it gets. There's like it's got 3 weird like power levels, but I'll get into that once we've run it a little bit. And that's a half. We don't want a half. No, that's better. Right. So basically, it's ready to go. You just turn it on. No, it does help if we turn it on at the wall, David. There. Should note this is the 24 volt version, because the 24 volt version is the one that comes with a brushless fan. I have mine on a 24 volt power supply. I'll talk you through the startup as it's doing it. So I'm just going to set it to on and turn it to max. The light goes green, and now you will see nothing happening except for on the power meter over there. The power meter. And it's gone up to like 150 watts because that's the glow plug. So all it's doing just now is running the glow plug, nothing else. It's just the glow plug. And then it runs the glow plug for a little bit, and then it spins the fan up a little bit to start combustion air, like a little whoo. Obviously, because that's the best way to get brushless fans going, is to give them a higher than their lowest running voltage. So it spins them up and you can bring them down to running. Like there it goes. Spun the fan up, spun, pumps the fuel at the same time, and within like 10 seconds. There's ignition. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. It's started. It's running. So I can hear ignition. Ignition is happening. And then I'll bring you back in a few moments once it's, well, run the glow plug out, and then it's just running at, well, maximum power. I'm going to turn the extractor fan on just now and suck all the hot gas out of the workshop. So at the moment on the controller you've got a green and a red light. I presume that's the heating up cycle of illumination. It's doing it right. Now it's heading for max. And it's going to run hotter and faster and harder. It's loud. So we're pulling 10 amps just now. Temperature's rising quickly. Goodbye. Set there. But yeah, at max power, it is loud. Right, so I'm going to turn it down to a lesser temperature. So we'll turn it at 20 degrees. Now we can see the intake is almost at 20 degrees, so when it sees about 20 it'll start to throttle down. I think it's already starting. Yeah, there it goes. Current's come down to 7 and a bit amps, 7 amps. So this is the kind of medium speed I was talking about, not full out max burn, but like half, because it's got a lot lower to go yet as well. It goes way down to low. So if we take it down to 10 degrees, and we're well over 10 degrees in intake just now. So there's like a massive jump between like medium and low. So air intake's about 28 odd degrees, it's about 20 degrees down here where we are. And there's the, hold on, let me bring you down. So running at lowest is using, like, depending on which bit of the cycle the clamp meter catches the fuel pump at, between 1 and 1.5 amps. And the thermocouple, the hot air output, it'll probably stabilise. I think the hottest on low is always 99 degrees with a 25 degree input, but I would need to leave it sitting and running for it to fully acclimatise. But see now a 99 degree output at 20 degrees. So my measurements, while are close, they are not super accurate. But my god, is it hot in here already. The roof thermometer is at 32 degrees. But like just now, running on low, it's pretty quiet. It is pretty quiet. I mean, that's now going over 100. I'm curious to see if it comes back down again. At the moment I can't get an accurate reading in high because it's just too hot in here. It doesn't let it run long enough. But that changes things again. I mean, 100 degrees, that's a different. Is it going to stabilise there? I will turn it off for the moment. Off sequence, green light goes out, stops pumping fuel straight away, brings the glow plug on, and then brings the cooling fan on and lets it cool. Right, I will bring you back once it has cooled down and turned off. Right, it is finally turned off. I'd like to stress, this is not for camper vans. This is for none of the campery folk. This is too big, too loud. There is no reason you would ever need a heater this size in your camper van. This will heat up my workshop, no problem. The workshop's like 8 metres long and 3 or 4 metres wide and 4 metres tall. This will keep the workshop hot in the winter. I should decide which wall to put on or whereabouts. But anyway, so yeah, not for heating up your camper van. This is for heating up a large space, like a bus or a lorry or a unit, something that needs a lot of heat and you're not overly concerned about noise. Now, let me show you some maths, right, because most of this in shot. Yes, I'm trying not to lean on the hot exhaust. I'll lean over here a little bit. So, on low, we had it at 1-ish amps. Output temperature measured at 99 degrees with a 25 degrees intake. But as we've just seen there, it can get over 99 degrees with a 20 degree intake. So this final number is close. It's roughly right. 180 kilograms of air per hour, and that's 3.8-ish kilowatt hours on low. On high, again, this one was really hard to do because it's not cold enough for it to keep running on high long enough that I would want to saturate the disc to heat it up to actually make sure that air temperature it's not getting any higher and it's not dropping. But it's summer and it just won't stay cold enough because it just loops round, sucks the cold air back in. It's not even cold air because it's like 20 degrees outside, brings the temperature down, and I can't get very accurate. But so at best or worst, we were getting 83 degrees output, 15 input, but the airspeed is a lot more, and so is obviously the kilograms through it. So 436 kilograms of air per hour, and that's about 8.3 kilowatts. It could be more than that. I know it's an 8 kilowatt heater, but it's 8 and a bit kilowatt of hot air output. I don't know how much fuel it's burning, because I don't know what size the fuel pump is. It might be a 55, it might even be a 65. We would need to have, I need some way of accurately measuring how much fuel comes out, because it's measured per 1,000 ticks. So if it's a 65 milliliter pump, 1,000 ticks of fuel will give you 65-ish milliliters of fuel. I mean, I could work out for both, for a 65 and a 55. And if a 55 is given less than that, it's not a 55 mil pump, because that would break the thermodynamics law. We would be getting more energy out than putting in. So I might do that maths later for my own amusement. And then the kind of quasi-medium running between low and high, when it decides to go on the in-betweens. Like, it'll run at high, max as hard as it goes until it reaches the temperature, and then kind of go to medium and then go to low. Well, on medium we're getting 94 degrees and 18 input, 13 meters a second airspeed output, which is 320 kilograms an hour, which is 6.8 kilowatt hours. So it's not like a medium, it's like a slightly less than max. It's like a high but not max. Again, these numbers not super accurate, but it gives you it shows you this power output is significantly more than the stock. Well, they're all 4 kilowatts, no matter how you label them on eBay or Amazon as 8s. They're not, they're just 4s. There is only 2 sizes, 2 and 4. And I can't believe I'm still having to tell people that in the comments. That I mean, it's not their fault. I know if it says on eBay it's an 8 kilowatt and they think, and they've read erroneously on other forums, oh, it's just tuning, just turn your fuel pump up to get 8 kilowatts. You can't get 8 kilowatts without a physically larger heater. God, I'm going off on a rant again. Yeah, so yeah, obviously the 85 mil outlet hasn't changed for any of the readings because it's the same size of heater, and yeah, it does a fantastic job of heating up. I'm sweating in here at the moment. I'm going to go and have a drink of juice, and perhaps I'll sit down while I edit this, and I might throw some more numbers on screen if I work out the fuel pump possibilities of the kilowatt hour output. So the only other test we have to do is run it with a gas analyzer in some sort of exhaust T-piece silencer, and that would let us see what the actual efficiency of the unit is as worked out by the gas analyzer. Okay, I think that'll do us. Any comments, questions, anything like that, leave them down below. I will try my very best to answer them. And as always, thanks for watching.